Hey, and welcome to the Sit Down with Suzanne podcast. I am your girl, Suzanne, also known as Positively Suzanne. Now, remember, this podcast was created with us in mind. It is a reminder that not only are we worthy, but we deserve the best versions of ourselves. So grab a cup of tea or your beverage of choice and sit back and relax and join me on this journey. Hey guys, it's your girl, Suzanne, and today I want to talk to you about joy. More specifically, intentional joy. That is a phrase that I absolutely love. That is a phrase that I absolutely adore. And I put it everywhere because I truly believe in intentional joy. And if you look up the word intentional, it means deliberate, like you actively choose to do it. And if you look up the word joy, joy is a feeling of pleasure, of happiness. So when you put it together, it's you're deliberately, actively seeking pleasure and happiness. And for me, my joy is internal. It comes from within. It comes from God. It comes from my hope. It comes from my faith, and I know that things will be okay. So I am always saying it, sharing it, posting it, talking about it, intentional joy. So I want to talk to you about intentional joy because happiness is sometimes temporary. It depends on outward things. It depends on our surrounding. And listen, there's nothing wrong with being happy. I am very, very happy. But when you have joy, you are able to remain happy even when things aren't good. When you're focused only on your happiness, when you lose the external thing that gives you the happiness, you are no longer happy. When you focus on your intentional joy that comes from within, that comes from the Lord, when the external thing is removed, you still have joy. You can be sad. I have internal joy, intentional joy. And there are moments that I'm sad when I lose something that I want, when I'm hurt, when I don't achieve something that I set out to do. I'm sad, but my joy is still in. And the reason I focus on joy because it gives me hope that things will get better. It reminds me that things will get better. You know, I go to a lot of places and I do a lot of networking, and there are a few individuals that I see a lot of the times. And some of them, I know better than others, but their face always looks unhappy. And, I continue to pray if they're going through anything personally that, they haven't shared. But there are some people that I know who are choosing misery. They just enjoy being unhappy. They enjoy being miserable, and their face is always made up. And they see somebody walk in the room, and automatically they are like just, they allow it to shift their mood. And I remember recently I was going somewhere, and my mom said to me, this person was going to be there. And I knew that the person was going to be there. And I knew that this person was going to have a sour disposition. I knew that this person was going to have a made up look on their face. And I was just, okay. I don't allow, and I didn't allow the fact that this person who seems to seek intentional misery was going to be there. See what I did there? Was going to be there because I was like, I am not allowing their misery to take my joy away. So I just want to encourage you to seek intentional joy, deliberate, active joy. You're going to go through things. I'm not going to lie to you. I think one of the hardest things I went through was I lost my dad. And I'm not going to lie to you, I cried a lot. And I still cry about it because it was very tough. But even in the darkest moment, I knew that things will get better. I didn't know how, I didn't know when. I knew that there'll be days that I looked back and laughed about the memories. And then I look back and I chuckle. Because if you allow the darkness to overtake you, you'll be like those folks that folks will warn others about that this person's going to be there. Can you imagine being noted as the person that's in a room that in not in a good way? And if you're not careful, if you don't intentionally seek joy, these negative Nancy's will truly try to permeate every area of your happiness. But if you have that joy, maybe you will turn them around. Maybe you won't. But there's a few people that I don't get it. I don't understand. They just unhappy. They choose to focus on the negative. It's been raining a lot this summer, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I bought a fabulous gazebo, um, set it up. It's all set up. My husband and I worked really hard, got it set up in the front yard. We're ready to have movies. And my husband reminds me all the time that, Suzanne, it's a gazebo. We bought the one that has the mesh around it and things like that. The rain's not going to come in. And I get that. But I bought the gazebo because I wanted to be out there in the sunshine, watching TV because my husband set up the screen and everything. And, I could be sad about it. Am I disappointed? Absolutely. But I have joy knowing that the rain will stop one day and I could still do that. I have a fire pit, so if it gets to be fall and it's cold outside and there's no rain, I can do the fire pit and the gazebo. So I guess the moral of the story is there's going to be disappointments. There's going to be things that you want and you don't get. But don't allow that to take your joy away. I am actively seeking joy. Focus on the things that make you happy. And, people will see me and, it's like, so my name is Positively Suzanne. And it doesn't mean that I don't understand negative things. It doesn't mean that I don't understand that there's darkness in the world and I don't pray and I don't cry on it. And I just don't dwell on it. I see what I can do to change the darkness, but in terms of letting it permeate me, in terms of letting it overtake me, I can't. I cannot live in misery. You shouldn't live in misery. We should seek joy. Why get up every day determined to be unhappy? They choose things to focus on. And as I am coaching clients, a lot of the times I'm like, and they'll say something to me like, this happened. And I'm like, okay, but how does that impact you? And like, they're upset about it. And I'm like, how does that impact you? It doesn't. But they're upset about it and they have, really, really bad vibes and bad attitude and they're mad. And the thing doesn't even impact them. And sometimes people, even within your vicinity, will do things that doesn't impact you. And you're choosing to be miserable about it. You genuinely cannot change others. You can encourage them, inspire them, motivate them, empower them. You could push them. You can do a lot of things, but they have to want to change. There's a saying in Jamaica, you can bring an ass to water and you can't make him, but you can't make him drink. It simply means you could lead a horse to water, but You cannot make him drink. He has to drink that water on his own. And I think it's the same for miserable people. You can try to inspire them. You can try to let them see that there's a different way. But what you shouldn't do is allow their misery to overtake your joy. That's why I said it's intentional, it's deliberate, seek moments. I try to find the joy in everything. So if you know me, you should know that I love tea. And I love me a good tea party. And I do my tea parties for myself, and then it's turned into a business. But for me, the art of a cup of tea is joyful. The brewing of the water, the pouring of the water over the tea bag, the steam seeping out, the water changing color, adding my evap evaporated milk. I don't do sugar. I gave that up. Well, just the sugar in the tea, not in anything else. Believe me, the cookies and the candy and the ice cream are still there. The first sip, that's joyful to me. Curling up with a book, that's joyful to me. Coming home, and I'm going to tell you guys this, and my kids and my husband are going to hear it. And I'm like, really, mom? But every time I'm taking a shower when I'm home, and the kids and the husband here, they always have something to ask me. I always get interrupted. So, one of the most joyful things to me. So, when I come home and there's no one home, and it's taking that uninterrupted shower, and I get to blast my Beyonce at full volume without anybody asking me, are you listening to Beyonce again? Or turn down the music, mom. It's so loud. And I'm in that shower and I'm singing at the top of my lungs because, listen, I'm that backup singer for B, right? That's joyful, simple, pleasure, intentional. So there are so many things that we can do, that we could see. And it doesn't have to be the big things, right? Listen, I want a trip to Paris, to Italy, to Rome, like anyone, right? Those, I love those and I enjoy those. But I try to find the joy in the everyday, in the simple, because if I'm always waiting for the big moment to find my joy, I'll never find my joy. I find joy in the pleasure of my company. I find joy in good conversations with a friend. I find joy in a good movie, in a good show. And personally, for me, if I watch a show and it's good, it's in my Netflix watch list. And I rewatch certain scenes over and over because I found joy in them. And I will go to that 2 hour, 1.5 hour movie after I've watched it and just watch that scene. The scene that they fell in love, like just a special scene, whatever it is, that's intentional. That's me deliberately seeking joy, those moments. So find those moments of joy, find those things that make you happy, intentional and deliberate, seek joy because life is amazing and it will throw some obstacles your way. But if we're always focused on that, when do we really truly get to enjoy life? There are some people who has had some hard life and I listen to their stories and it breaks my heart. And I know it's hard. You're in abusive relationships. You are with, whether it's with a partner or parent, systemic racism, struggling with sexism, all of these things, you're in spaces where you're not appreciated, you're not respected, it can put a dent in your joy. But if you're deliberate, if you're intentional, and I pray that those that are in these situations that I can't even fathom, these life that they didn't create, they didn't ask for, because there's certain people living under certain regimes where they have no rights. I will continue to pray for them that one day they'll get to a space where they have intentional joy. One day they'll get to an opportunity where they could just be themselves. So this I believe I owe it to me. I owe it to them. We really owe it to God to live our best lives because we have it good. We have it great. A lot of us are so blessed, but yet we choose to be unhappy. And so for the ones that are going through things that, we can't control, let's control it. I have a dear friend of mine, um, a bit older than me, and she had a long, long time ago, she had breast cancer and she beat it. And, we're friends. And a few weeks ago, I reached out to her and I said, "Hey, we haven't chatted in a while. We have to get together because we always try to do a lunch around her birthday and mine." And she broke the news to me that she was diagnosed with cancer. This was her second bout. And she wasn't down though. She told me, she was like, "Listen, I'm going to fight this with everything I've got." She said there was the type of cancer that she had. There was a couple doctors that were really good at it, but they're hard to get to. She's like, I'm gonna get to them. She was persistent and she was making calls and calls and just anybody, everybody, and doing what she can to get the best doctor that she heard about. She got the doctor and, we spoke and she was headed into surgery. And she was going to be in the hospital for a couple of days and then she was going to be out. And I'm like, all right. So, I texted her just because I'm like, she can't talk after the surgery. So, like, every day I'm like, I'm not sending a long text. And I'm like, I didn't call her because I was like, I don't want to force her to talk on the phone because I know she sees me, she's going to call. And I'm not going to give her a long text because she is, going to want to respond. So, after the surgery, checked in, made sure she was okay. And, I'm sending the praying hands and the heart emoji. So then finally, I called her and I was like, "Hey, I couldn't wait any longer. I'm checking in on you to see how you're doing." But her voice was very robust. And she was like, "Oh no, honey." She's like, "After the surgery," she's like, I was laid up for a couple of days and I am out and I'm doing." She's like, "They say I shouldn't lift anything and I'm not lifting anything," but she is living her life, intentional joy. And here I am thinking, I said, "Wait a minute, like you are so inspiring." Here I am thinking, I don't want to call because I don't want you to strain to talk. I don't want you to strain to text. And you are telling me that you are out here not running marathons, but you're resuming. She was intentional in not letting it get her down. They were able to get all the cancer. All glory be to God. And, thank you for guiding that doctor. But she didn't allow it. And not one moment during the diagnosis, because she got diagnosed and she moved pretty swiftly. The diagnosis, the search for the doctor, the trying to get the doctor, the lead up to the surgery, and the rest after and the recovery after. Not one moment did she give in to despair in terms of giving up her joy. Oh, absolutely. She was sad. Absolutely. She cried and asked, why me? Why the second time? But she held on to her joy. She held on to her faith because in her joy, there was faith, there was love, there was hope. So she held on to that and she never let go. So I am telling you, intentional joy. So every time I go somewhere and I see someone, maybe it's me, maybe they just don't want to see me. So when they see me, their makeup, their faces, and they're unhappy. But I don't know why, because I'm an absolute delight. Maybe. But whatever the reason, I see them and I'm like, what's going on? And I've attempted conversation. How are you? How are things? Everything's okay. And their face is just made up. And I'm like, my goodness, there are things happening all around us. And you're choosing miserable? You're choosing to be miserable? You're choosing misery? Come on now. Life is glorious. There's so many great things. Oh my goodness. The laughter of a child, a truly exceptional mean, so many things. Why are we choosing misery when we can choose joy? So, this is my encouragement for you. I want you to be intentional in your pursuit of your joy. Find the things that make you happy. And I don't have to say it because you know what? The people that I'm speaking to know who they are. We're not finding things that are harmful because that's not joy. Those are temporary band-aids. So alcohol and drugs and things like that. Mm-mm. And that's not what I'm talking about. So if there is somebody who's going to say, well, mm-mm, I'm not talking about anything that's going to hurt you, anything that's going to hinder you. I'm talking about intentional comfort, pleasure, things that will enhance you, things that will make your life better. A good church service, oh my goodness. For me, I mean, going to church is a spiritual experience, right? I love when I go to church and the pastor is preaching the word of God and the feeling that comes over me. It's incredible. It's indescribable. And I pray that you experience that for yourself. There's so many things in life that are amazing. Why would I choose misery? Why should you choose misery? Find the things that gives you joy. Well, I should say that makes you happy. But also think internally, long term, intentional joy. What are the things that make you happy that can lead to joy? I surround myself by great people. I love people. I enjoy people. I will talk to anybody at any time. And some are receptive, some are not. But if they're negative, I'm out. I walk away. I was being interviewed the other day and I said to someone, I said, listen, I don't want that negativity. I'm called Positively Suzanne. And they're like, yeah, that's right. So I'm actively seeking joy, my friend. I am going out there and I'm just making sure that I'm surrounded by the right people and B, the right things. So what's holding you back from finding joy? What's stopping you? Who's stopping you? What can you do? What can you eliminate? Because sometimes to get to something, we don't always have to get something to get to it, right? And I hope you follow me. I know you guys are all very smart, but in seeking joy, it's sometimes that's not something that you have to attain to get joy. It's something that you have to lose, let go of to get joy. Someone told me a long time ago, and I think more than one, I've heard the analogy about the story of the monkey and the cookies. And I'm not sure if it was a cookie or whatever, but there was a story of the monkey wanting a cookie, right? And put the hand in the cookie jar and held on to the cookie. The cookie was in a fist and couldn't get their hand out of the jar because they were holding a fist and was just getting upset. That cookie would have brought him a lot of happiness, right? Maybe not a cookie, but they wouldn't let go of the fist. So maybe if they just, not maybe, if he had just released the fist, he would have gotten the cookie and been happy. So I'm saying this to you. Are you making a fist? Are you holding on to something that's stopping you from achieving joy? And when are you going to realize it and let it go? So do this with me. I want you to picture this. I want you to do two fists because we're going to let go a lot of things. And if you don't have a lot of things, just do one. But no, for real, I want you to do this with me. I want you to use your hands and form two fists. And I want you to think about what it is that you're holding on to. And let's pretend that we have a cookie bowl or a cookie jar around our hands. And we have our hands in it and we have a fist. But because we have these fists, we can't get it out of the jar. And we're unhappy because that jar is hot. Now, I want you to think about what you need to let go of in order to get your hands out of that hot or cold. Maybe you like the heat or cold jar. So, in one hand, so you can say something like, it's the expectation of others. That's what you're holding on to because you need the opinion of others to feel validated. If you don't get validated by the opinions of others, you're unhappy. You can't get to your joy. On the other hand, it's something that's bad for you, and you know that you need to let go of it. But you think it brings you happiness, and it doesn't. It is hurting you, and you kind of know, but you're like, well, what's the harm? So I want you to think of it with those two hands. And then I want you to open your arms, your hands, release it. And I'm doing it, and I'm not on video. And then once you release that, I want you to take your hands out of the jar and breathe. You have just let go of what's holding you back from seeking joy. You have just let go of what's holding you back from intentional joy. Do you feel lighter? I hope you do. Let go of it all. Let go of what doesn't serve you. Walk away from those that don't bring you joy. It's okay. You're not being careless of others. You're being mindful of you. Pray for them, wish them well. But you got to bounce. You got to leave. You can't stay there. There is nothing for you there. You need joy in your life. We need joy to survive. We need joy to thrive. We need joy to succeed. We need joy to live in that abundant life that God has promised us. And anybody and anything that hinders our joy has got to go. Our joy is eternal. Our joy is internal. Internal and eternal. I know what I said because it's connected to our soul. It's deep, deep, my friend. So we're not giving it up that easily. It is intentional. Yes, it should come to us, but sometimes it doesn't. So that's why it's intentional. We are actively, deliberately, passionately, and relentlessly seeking joy. Because gosh darn it, we deserve it. We deserve to live a joyful life. We deserve to live a fulfilled life. We deserve to live a life with limitless expectations, with just moments of pure bliss. For me, that's what joy is. So seek it, claim it, go after it. Like I said, we deserve it. What is stopping you from seeking intentional joy? And when you have that answer, if you have to remove that thing, do so, because we all deserve joy. But for me, for you, for us, it has to be an intentional act. And that is my wish for you, that your joy is intentional. I hope you enjoyed this episode because I really and truly enjoyed talking about it. It's something that I'm passionate about. It's something that, as I mentioned, I speak about often. It's something that I post about often. It's something that I think about often. It's something that I believe in. And I want you to believe in it too. So until the next episode, let's just think about joy. I got joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart. Down in my heart. All right. So I'm recording these episodes late, so you can hear my voice, right? But listen, you guys are amazing, and I thank you every day. I appreciate you guys taking the time, though, to really listen to these episodes and to share with me if they have blessed you, if you gained something from it. And if you didn't gain anything, it's okay. Maybe that one isn't for you, but don't stop listening because I promise you, there's going to be something for you. But it is all about that joy, my friend. And until the next episode, keep seeking, keep thriving. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of the Sit Down with Suzanne podcast, which is available on all major podcasting directories, including Amazon, Apple, Google, Pandora, Spotify, and a plethora of other spaces, including my very own website at www.positivelysuzanne.com. So choose your app and subscribe, listen, like, share, write a review. Do what you got to do, but make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend that this podcast is where it's at. You can also support the podcast by donating to the show at buymeacoffee.com/positively Susie. And until next time, this is Suzanne saying, you, my dear, are worth it.